Right, hello everyone and welcome back. And this game is me playing. So this is a AndyDavo cast of me versus Fillufeat. So it is Old World Alliance on my side and it is Skaven on his side. In this round of 32 World Championship on Blood Bowl 3. So I'll introduce you to the two teams while we set up. For me, I've called why shouldn't I necro. I think I should have necroed in retrospect, but the package for OWA was pretty good. Not one of my stronger teams, but never mind. So we've got a block ogre, we've got 4 guard, blocker, blitzer, and troll slayer. We've also got a lineman with guard, and then I've got a tackle mighty blow, which should be really good against Skaven. Blodge catcher and a block thrower. 13 players, 3 rerolls Apo, and into this. We have got Skaven, who've got a Juggernaut Rat Ogre, no sidestepper, thank God, a Mighty Blow and a Guard, and then 2 block and a Wrestle, with a leader down here. So, notice already, right, other teams have very much gone for an anti-blitz setup. I have been a lot more like, meh, I'll be fine. And, yeah, I've gone for the extra hitting. So first hit, we get a removal, which is very nice. And what I'm trying to do here is trying to make sure that we don't give away too much in the way of position. So I've gone for a screen around the ball, and then we've got a secondary screen. What I think I probably should have done there was blitzed here and moved the ogre across a couple of squares. But never mind, hindsight. And I also don't want to be pushed too far back. So, yeah, that's a problem. Now, he chooses to go, because bear in mind, obviously, I know what happens here, right? I've played this game. He chooses to go for a very aggressive line immediately, which is to blitz a armor 10 thick skull piece. I mean, kill it, obviously. So, Skaven causing a casualty. I choose the Apothecary because it's positional. And luckily, we get the Apothecary to work, and he comes back. But immediately, Fillufeat does not what I thought I would do, but what I thought he would do, which is that he is choosing to go and put extreme amounts of pressure on me immediately. Now, before this game, I watched how he played and was waiting, and have been waiting, I was expecting a press. I don't expect to have to go and chase him around and hunt him down. I think he is going to be monster aggressive. So already, it's a shame that worked. So I was already looking at whether or not we could do some chain bouncing for a surf, but the answer was no. So I'm choosing to go on, before I roll any dice and solve any of this, guard piece goes in, right, straight away. I'm also then going, well, I want to have 2D here, and my ogre might be able to get a hit. If that's a POW, that looks really strong. It's not. So we have to go for the gutter runner. Luckily here we get a POW. If I don't get a POW here, I'm actually in a lot of trouble because so we're now 1-1 on casualties. I've also KO'd something. But what we can also do now is fill in this square here. Because the guard is stunned, we should be able to fill in this square here, pull some of these guys back. My position is going to get crunched, and I'm going to lose a lot of yardage, but I think we can say that this looks alright so far. Ogre Bonehead would be annoying. It's not, so it's not. And he's going to want to blitz with the Rat Ogre, so let's bring everything away from the Rat Ogre. Now the Rat Ogre is making GFIs to get in. So let's see if he wants to do that. He is 3 pieces down. And from my perspective here, that reroll is amazing because he's now only got 1 reroll. God. 2 hits, 2 cars. AV10 thick skull, who cares? It's quite irritating. So he's lost 3, I've lost 2, but I've lost 2 of my 5 guard, which makes fighting that little bit harder. Fun stat for you, by the way. The team that's taken the most casualties in the whole of this event, me. Despite having AV10 thick skull players spattered all over the place. No, I've just taken the most. What the fuck? I can tell you in the real world, so I've killed another one, so this has been brutal on both sides, right? He's had 2 casualties taken, I've had 2 casualties taken. I can tell you that in the real world, I was a little irritated at this point with these two getting killed immediately. I felt that, oh yeah, I'm being really unlucky. And it took honestly, it took a moment for me to like chill the flip out and calm down and just be like, no, it's fine. You've caused a load of damage too. Stop sulking, right? Because it was a thing. I actually had to anti-tilt because we were, you know, Skaven. If it's 7 versus 7, Skaven are winning because you take 5 players to defend the ball. I say you, me, them, us. Casual extra 3+ just for lulz. The Rat Ogre then blitzing and failing. So I looked at this and thought, well, there's a box here. We can change some stuff onto a Ogre and have a cheeky hit. It's turn 4. We don't need to go wild in the Isles. So let's be safe, secure, and get 3 dice with attack on Mighty Blow on a Gutter Runner. And to hell with ball safety. That's for other people to worry about. Now, I looking at this now, I think I've chained the line rat in. Yeah, I would. Yeah, good. And we break armor. We don't kill it, sadly. But again, that means that we've just had we've had 2 Mighty Blow hits that turn. And I think that's, I honestly think that the weight of firepower going in has to be pretty strong. Otherwise, the Skaven caused me all sorts of trouble. So he gets his Rat Ogre in. This is what I watched him do in other rounds previously. So I'm expecting the Rat Ogre to get thrown in and then all the stuff to get thrown in all over the top of it, right? And I thought, well, that's fine because I've got 5 guard. It'll be fine. I've currently got 3 guard, and this is a little bit why I was feeling a little more concerned, was because I knew what his playstyle was all about, and thought this is problem. So we're gonna have to do something about the Rat Ogre here. So I'm choosing. I know I need to punch it on 2D. So still got 3 rerolls. So I can take that. That's a 2+ with a reroll. I just need a push, and then we get a Mighty Blow hit on the Rat Ogre, which is part of his 1 turning threat. And I think here I should be standing. Yeah, there we go. Good. Get some more guard around the back, and then we're going to +2 foul this guy in the face. Because it's just such a problem. So far, I'm actually quite content with the way I've played it, broadly. I feel as though I've put a lot of weight of fire in. What I haven't done here is he's clearly going to blitz off and then cause me problems slightly later in the drive, I think. And in fact, that move confirms this. So we're on my 6. If the Rat Ogre gets up, a Mighty Blow not doesn't apply because he's on the floor, and because he rolls a 4. And now he stuns me. So this turn is my first turn where I've actually got to really make an actual, like, say informed choice, but an actual, like a genuine a choice. So in practice games, I've found that I can sometimes leave myself a little bit too much to do. So I have made a conscious choice recently to press forwards and take space. So I look at this board state and I think, well, I should be able to make a home over here somewhere. What I'm not accounting for is the Ogre has gone and stood in here, right? Really smart opening first move, but he's not cancelling any assists out. So I'm not sure about this. The blocker thankfully breaks armor. That's really nice. And if it had been done with Mighty Blow, it would have killed it. KO'd it, sorry. So we've now got a gap to run through, and all of these guys can run through. Or in this case of this Troll Slayer, waddle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we should be able to be here. But what I'm not currently accounting for is this little Tinkersaurus. The other guy probably wants to go there because he's probably blitzing that guy. So I think that's a misplay. All right. I'm blitzing that guy. Unless I want to put the Troll Slayer in here. Oh, wonderful. I'm still blitzing this guy, right? This guy should be the guard guy. Because why expose your guard? That's nice from him. So he's isolated one of my guards down. Right, he's now about to isolate another one out. If he stuns this, we have a real problem. Rolls to kapow. And yeah, we have an actual problem now. Imagine, so if this guy was the guard and this guy was not the guard, I think we can do all manner of fun things, but it's not. So here I think there's a misplay, and I think the correct play is to continue to be over here and stand this guy up, and use the Troll Slayer's Dauntless. Right, you can blitz here. If I pow it, it goes there, and we've got a Dauntless hit. I'll tell you, for now, I am terrified that Dauntless fails and they've got a ball carrier base. So I don't do that. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So I choose to go with the Ultra Spice version, which is Ogre into Rat Ogre. I think the safer play here was probably this guy, because if the Rogue are Boneheads, we're playing into a world of poo. This turn for me was probably my weakest of the drive, but we failed to knock over the Rat Ogre. We failed to knock over the Rat Ogre again, but this has to work to close the door. I also think that this guy should actually be here, right? Because what I'm inviting here is 3, 3, 2, 2D uphill with a 40% bobble chance. And I think if I'm Fillufeat here, I would, and am taking that on. He chooses to go for the Mighty Blow, knowing that my Apothecary's gone, and I genuinely pooed myself slightly at this point. And what he is doing is applying lots of pressure to stop me stalling next turn. So he's knocked over a bunch of players here. 3? Yeah, he's knocked over 3 players. When we fail to knock over any, and this is going to cause me a problem. Now, I cannot score now. I must score now because it's turn 8. So the first bit's dead obvious, right? Throw the 1 in 9. If you get a POW, maybe we can do something this way, but we don't. That doesn't actually do anything. What we can do now is we can go for it here. And then because that's a POW, we've got the thing here. I did have enough rerolls to go for this, because each of these actions comes with its own reroll. And then we can just walk it in. So, Fillufeat, I think in that drive, I think he played exactly as I expected him to play, after doing a bit of research. The pressure was really strong, and even though he went players down immediately, I thought he played a really strong drive. I had one small wrinkle of it could have gone wrong, but he's got all his players back, so he's got a 13-man squad, so he's playing off 11, and my Dwarf Blitzer is just not coming back. So now I need to defend a 1 turn. Probably not the time to get creative with your defense, right? No, now is exactly the time to get creative with your defense. So you can still come in this way, because this doesn't really do a lot. Really, if you want to stop that, then this guy, the Ogre needs to stand here, right? Because that is then saying you're going that away. Because the Ogre is doing nothing in this drive, in this defense, so the Ogre should be on an edge, because it makes the Rat Ogre harder to move whatever you're moving. And this guy should have been here. So the Ogre should be here. Then I know you're coming this way. And then therefore I can put the tackle here. And an armbar here. But never mind. So he gets the chain push. The interesting thing here is, right, that this should be... the gutter runner needs to come forward. But this has somehow floated forwards. So he's got 3-2 to get through. And mildly fortunate there. But thankfully for me, he fails to pick up. So I would have picked it up on the gutter runner, and that would have worked, but he chose to go for the big lad, and it didn't work. So I get my KO back, so I'm going to have to field the halfling, and I know at this point that he's not had his one turn, and he's still got his drive. The other thing that I watched when I saw Fillufeat play was that on his defensive drive, he throws the Rat Ogre in a lot and causes a lot of pressure. On his offensive drive, the Rat Ogre is not so heavily used, and what he actually uses is the Mighty Blow Blitzer. So we need to target and isolate the Mighty Blow Blitzer, so I'm not eating a Mighty Blow Blitz every turn. I like to think that we showed quite how effective Mighty Blow Blitzing is, both in this last drive, but also with Chunter, Crystal Hunter playing his version. So everyone here now adopting the anti-blitz setup, and indeed, it is indeed a blitz. We get to move 4 people. Already stepped in 2. This is my 3rd. Went for the line rat to try and secure and isolate. And what I'm trying to do here is just not let the Mighty Blow guy have an absolute free reign. I can't get at the ball. I wasn't even going to go for the ball unless it had been ridiculously short. So this is fine. So we've got rid of a player. So we're actually 10 versus 11. And what I'm hoping here is that Armbar is marking both of these guys, so that if they fail, a little bit extra chance of hurting itself. Mighty Blow and dodging. And I've deliberately not defended the sideline, because if I don't defend the sideline, then he might choose to take it, and we can try and push him in 3 or 4. And that's my best chance of winning. So I'm quite pleased with my armbar. That's a dodge. That's a really nice position. That's an annoyingly clever position, because the gutter runner is actually positioned here, right? He could absolutely come this way. So I think I can either go, we can either go and chop down the sideline. If I chop here, he's definitely going to go sideways. And if I go over the top, if I go to the top, he's going to have to go this way. Now I want him to score quickly, so I'm going to blitz the Mighty Blow guy. What I'm again trying to do is put the armbar guys on things that might want to dodge. And this guy here is to try and cancel out the Rat Ogre coming in and causing me menacing problems. So, ooh, get the POW. Don't recall that. Oh, is this where he leaves? This is where he leaves. And then we need to screen him off again. So this guy's going to need to stand in here. This means that what we can do is we've absolutely left the sideline completely open. But on turn 10, it's fine. I don't care. And we've also got a 2-player advantage. So it's 9 versus 11. And again, quite pleased with where the armbars are. We've got armbar on 3 of his players at this point. This turned into a really bad idea, because now he gets 2D to POW the catcher. Oh, and he does POW the catcher. And the catcher is going to be needed for potentially the next... In my head, there's a 3rd drive, so I need that. Not spent a reroll on the dodge there. Not spent a reroll on the dodge there. But the Skaven are now starting to get a little clumped up. That's fine. And I wouldn't... And he does spend the reroll on that there. Wow. Well, it's the leader, I suppose, so fine. So armbar not having any impact whatsoever. And what I saw in the last game when Fillufeat played was that he was very good at extricating players here. So what I want to try and do is, if I'm going to tie these players up, I'm going to over-tie them. That's a special type of knot in Blood Bowl. It's an over-tie is where you just put too much pressure in. And again, I don't want them to go backwards particularly. So if they want to go backwards, they've got to leave a player in one of these 2 squares as an assist. And what I'm going to try and do is just continue to pressure. Catcher can now get up. Catcher probably, I think the catcher could have stood there, but there's also fine. So I'm not trying to stop him stalling. I'm just trying to take away the space. He's not coming sideways. I don't want him to go back up. So if he stalls, if he scores on turn 12, I'm going to have 4 turns to score. I've got a movement 8 catcher. Should be fine. So I want to kick him into the end zone next turn. That's been my goal so far. And Fillufeat has thus far been more than happy to oblige. And what's interesting about this particular stall here is he's not put the ball on like the safe square, or just a little bit further up to either give him, yes, armbar has done fuck all. So this is okay. I'm not worried. The house is not on fire. Everything's okay. Probably not going to be able to push him in next turn though, as things currently stand, unless we can really get a load more work done. Can't let the tackle mighty blow get hit, and I also think I probably should have pushed this guy here, but never mind. We can go and bring the OWA blocker all the way down. So I'm going to want to throw the block here with the... oh dear. So, super go for it's from the other guy. There we go. Very nice. He should be able to stall this for another turn. There should be no reason to not stall this for a turn. So reroll into that as well. That one I don't think warranted a reroll. I really don't think that was a reroll. What I think probably was yeah. So I'm now looking at whether or not, boom. I'm looking at whether or not we can put some pressure on here. So if I blitz here, I can push this guy here. We roll a POW. And we can come and cause problems. We don't roll a POW, so I just say, right, you're not cocking around any further. Score. So that was my turn 12. I'm gonna have 4 turns to score back. Fine. I still don't have this guy back, but he didn't get his KO, or one of his 2 KOs, so he's down to 10. So 4 turns to win it. Let's go 1-0 up. Should be fine. And I notice here that Fillufeat, I even noticed it in the real time, but I'm noticing here that Fillufeat here is choosing to go for an aggressive setup, right? So I should play for a passive setup, and we get blitzed on. Which is unusual. I imagine it's probably the best possible outcome, right? Because if you don't get a blitz on here, then it's pretty boring. Right, so we've immediately got to go and fix this. So players, plural, need to run backwards. And I've also seen where the ball's gone, right? It's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The ball is going to go there. And what I should do here is I should go and bring the tackle mighty blow back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's double go for it. So if I stand in my own way, it's double go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what I probably should do is put the tackle mighty blow there, and then bring this guy back here, and then worry about the exact shape afterwards, because we can always dig the catcher out, and the catcher can come back and fill in, and that would be okay. What does Dickhead do? Well, not that. So that was a critical error. And this should be game losing. Or is game losing, right? It is a game losing error. This was the semi-final of the World Championships last year when I was playing against Diomed and just couldn't pick the ball up. So the tackle mighty blow being way too far back is a real problem here. And we're still sat on 2 rerolls as well, which is really irritating. And this requires a level of Mind Palace, which I haven't seen for a while, to fix this one. Because Yeah, right. What are the Skaven doing next turn? The scoring, right? They're bazillion% scoring. Because they should be able to defend what is ostensibly a 2-turn. And if they don't, then they win. If they do, then they don't. So let's go and fetch the players that I should have fetched last turn, because you never know. What he hasn't done, for some unknown reason, is covered the top end of the screen. So we've got 2D on the ball. We put a reroll into it. And at this point, I'm like, oh, never mind. It was 50-50 twice. Sorry, it was 50-50. It was 1 in 3 twice. Which turns into a 50%. Can we hit it? No, we can't. Brawler doesn't work either. And like, I'm like, oh, wicked. The game. Fuck you, game, right? Again, probably could have moved this guy down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because the reason for not bringing him is because he's not really doing anything there. But at the same time, he's doing 0 there and will be doing 0 next turn if this doesn't work. So, that's fine. He just needs to dodge off. He dodges off. But what's gone wrong here by not knocking this guy over, whereas I think he'd mentally planned on standing here, and he's blown his last reroll. We've got another 2D on the ball. So this is my T15. Now, if we get the ball to the catcher, I can still win this, or we can play for the draw. So I decide at this point, right? Screw it. I'm going to put someone in for a scoring threat because I want to be able to. I want the ability to win it. We cock up the dodge. But thank God Tackle Mighty Blow is a thing. And I think we go here. I think I end up putting it here. Oh no, do go there. Right, ball go out, please. Yeah, that was my reaction. In fact, I think that was my reaction in real time as well. I was like, oh great. So we just powered 3 gun runners in a turn. That's pretty strong. Including a KO. But now we've got to go and fetch the catcher, right? That catcher has to come back. Yeah. That I genuinely don't think mattered. So bear in mind, Fillufeat is on no rerolls. If he just scored, this was a minimum of a draw, and quite possibly a win. He chooses to go for 2D uphill. Skulls. By the way, the weather is very sunny. Just bear that in mind. These guys pass on a 3 natively, and I'm throwing it from there. That'll be in the 3rd pass banning, so that's a 6. So at the moment, if he just walked there with the ball, it's a 6. Also, Fillufeat has had his last turn, so I now know I haven't lost. Somehow, I haven't lost. Because the catcher can't get there. Let's just move it out of the way. The better play here, I think, was to throw it to this guy who hands it off. And certainly with that should never... If that doesn't follow, that's a block, and I do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. In the end, because I messed that up, I choose to go for the pass, and it is a 4 into a 4, so it's a fumble, therefore it goes anywhere. And therefore, that's the first game. It is a draw. So, could have lost it, should have lost it, should have won it, did draw it. So, let's go and have a look at the second game. And hopefully the server doesn't take such a long time this time. It does not. There it is. And we can dive into the second game. There it is. So, AndyDavo versus Fillufeat, part 2. And I get to receive again. So we should be doing basically the same thing as we did last time, which is hopefully smash the Skaven in the face, and And in fact, this is almost a carbon copy, right, of exactly what happened last time, which is that the... excuse me. A couple of players get a loner. Don't really care. I'm using the catcher to throw blocks there because the catcher's got block. And I don't really care where he goes. So, for me, that's fine. Right, we get a KO. What will the Mighty Blow do? Nada? And I want to screen these two, so I'm going to follow here so that we can screen two more important players. So that's 2 KOs, right? He's now down to 9. This should be fine. We've seen what he does to the AV10 thick skull players. So what I'm trying to do now is just create a little bit of a net so that if this goes wrong, we were able to sweep round. So, do not cock it up. And in fact, no mistakes were made. 2 players advantage. This should be all right. Very clever play here from our opponent. Look, he's going to get to do 2 Mighty Blow hits this turn. Silly Davo. We lose a player. I honestly thought about apothecarying that. So we're a player down. And the guard is all over here. If the guard was over here, I would want to take that 2D hit. But given the fact that I can throw the ogre into Rat Ogre Blitz fairly for free, I'm going to. What I should be doing, though, is defending the Tackle Mighty Blow from his Mighty Blow. Note that is super important. This was a fucking dumbass maneuver, which was like, hey, free Mighty Blow hit on my Tackle Mighty Blow. Turn 2. Skaven are almost certainly not going to turn that down. But they do. And he gets exactly what he needed. Because imagine that was a push. Sorry, it was a power the first time. Then we get 2 Mighty Blow hits next turn. But we don't, because he doesn't. Because it isn't. We haven't lost any. Oh, we have. No, we have. So we are a player down. If that little cheeky rat hadn't escaped, I would definitely be taking on a gutter runner at this point. But again, remember my strategy is to take space because I think the OWA offense isn't as clean and crisp as some of the other teams' offenses. So I want to take the space when it is available. Not against every team, but against the teams that are like imagine you're playing you're basically your elf teams and your Amazons and your agility teams. I think it's important at that point to do that. So what I'm choosing to do here is I'm unfortunately abandoning my blitzer, but what I'm doing is splitting the board and hopefully trying to avoid where the rat ogre might run off to. So the ball is completely safe. We've taken a load of space. I am now in scoring range. In fact, I think it's 1 go for it to score at this point. And the rat ogre is isolated, so probably is staying on that side of the board, which is fine. Wait just a second. In some ogre on rat ogre action. That's quite a nice T-shape that he's box he found there, so he's getting an extra hit. This I thought was an unusually odd move. And also, that doesn't do anything. So I'm going to pause this because I remember this turn in real time thinking, is there any serfs on here? And and trying to work out what to do. There's a line right here that's lying down. Fine. We've got an ogre that's lying down that's prone. And I suppose technically, if you powered this guy and got a removal, though you might be able to Troll Slayer around the corner, but it's probably not a good idea. And the other thing is, I was looking at whether I could punch the rat ogre into the pack and cause any problems. But the punching of the rat ogre would be incredibly challenging, because the only player that's viably going to get there is the catcher, and he's strength 2. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd need an assist in that square, and that's just not. I don't have that level of resource. I just don't. So we probably just need to throw the hit there, throw these 2 hits here and here, and see what we can get done. I choose to put the reroll into the Rat Ogre on Ogre Blitz, because the Rat Ogre is such a pain in the dick. He should have gone there. He definitely should have gone there, because that's where the guards are. Yeah, because he would just be marked by 2 guards then. This is okay. So we are a player down. We're a player ahead. And we know that the Rat Ogre is going to do some more blitzing. I thought for a second we left either the surf of the ball on or some other dirty, horrible surf. But I don't think we have, even looking at it now. This Rat Ogre is very good at knocking stuff over, unlike other Rat Ogres we've seen recently. Right, I think that's surfable. So much for taking the space. You remember how I was like, I'll take the space. And so what's happened so far is I haven't taken the space. In fact, I've been shoved backwards and pretty hard as well. Now we have a real problem, which is that these 2 squares are fill-inable, and then you can push this out of the way and there's 2D on the wall. He didn't see it, but it was there. So I left 2D on the wall here. Chunter sees that, I think. So, 2 into 1. And this is going to be my turn 6. Just letting a little bit of cool air into here. So, if we roll a push here, then I think the Rat Ogre is surfable. And we do. So, stand everything up. Take these blocks first in case anything goes horribly wrong. That I'm hoping is going to give me some width for next turn. Dauntless works. And this is annoying. Dauntless fails, so I re-roll the Dauntless. It works, and then I'll bloody thing. And then don't break the armor. Now I can't have him rat ogering into my catcher over here, so we have to step back. Now, I wonder whether the Dauntless roll there is even worthwhile. Quite frankly. I think it's probably not. And it's also left me tight on re-rolls. I'm on 1 now. And given that we didn't move forward this turn, I think this is a real tight problem. So although we've taken 3 players out, God, we're going to need to go across. That's absolutely insta-apo. So the Skaven are ahead on casualties, because that's 1 for them and none for me. And if these two, if these come across, that's a real problem. So we've got to blitz this way. We've got to go over here, and we've got to put the catcher in. And I think, looking at it now, if I can get rid of this rat, we don't need to hand off. If we can't get rid of this rat, we might need to consider handing the ball. Phew! We might need to consider handing the ball to the catcher. Note that the rest of the Gutter runner is only dodging in on 4 because I chose the catch. The blitzer there is 1 square out, right? So I think he should be blitzing in on a 4 for 2D uphill. Because the only other line of play is to then go and swamp me and get in front of me. And I think, given that my catcher is diagonally to my left corner, unless I roll the 1 in 9, I'm just going to walk it in because my threat radius is too strong. So he chooses to go in. Oh, I didn't realise that failed. I genuinely didn't realise that failed. Oh wow, there's a much easier way of solving this. Don't do that. Because this guy being stood in that square, if this is a push, is a real problem. Let me just slalom it in. Okay, fine. So we score and we roll it in. And given my cock up of the 1 turn last time, we choose to go for a much better defense this time, right? Right. So the Troll Slayer's in the wrong square, it should be there. And this is going to be painful, right? Because look, that's a 3. That's a 3, not a 4. And that's a 2, not a 3. And that's 3, not a 3. And if you're Irish, don't do that. But he's managed to find all the relevant pushes. The only good news for me is that the ball carrier is currently marked by an auger, which is causing mild consternation on his behalf. But it is absolutely solvable because he's got the spare pieces to do it. So I was like, oh good, I've just lost. Brilliant, well done me. And fully deserved to be punished for this, right? Because this is a straight up misplay. But him upstairs saves me. So, winning 1-0. Fillufeat now, draw, pushes him to a 3rd game, and a win for either of us would completely solve the game, and a draw for either of us pushes in, a draw for either of us pushes us into overtime. Pushes into a 3rd, start again. A draw for either of us makes us play a 3rd game. A win for this qualifies us. And I'm currently winning. Right. So, interesting that Fillufeat is choosing to play for what I potentially perceive as a bit of a draw here. We get a solid D. And I basically just want to all-mans the line so that pieces don't get to do hitting. What I don't do a very good job of is the ogre should be over here, and this should have some guard in it. The guard should have gone here because, look, that's a 2D block. And once you pop that guard out, you can then 1D that guy, and then you can do stuff. So there's a not a very good structure of defense here, because these were the 3 originals plus him. So I remember in real time going, wait, what? How's that? Oh, because I'm an idiot. Oh, it's a stun. Oh, it's more of a stun. Right, and suddenly, oh dear, 2 of my 5 guard has been irradiated. However, this is a little unusual. Thankfully, he blows a reroll. Doesn't then also see the knockdown out the back end of it. So while I'm going to struggle to put oodles of pressure on next turn, that there is just a little bit of a sprinkling of hope. I don't need to do anything crazy, and for me, I'm thinking now, let's pressure what I can pressure easily, and try and crush them. Keep the tackle mighty blow centralized. We get a removal instantly, which is pretty good luck. That is pretty lucky, to be fair. That's all his movement for him. I don't have. I'm not putting a reroll into this. And what I should have probably done is Ogre activation first, but I chose to do the Gutter Runner because I didn't think he would take the armor roll. I thought if it's a 1 in 9, we'll just wrestle. But it doesn't matter, because if I bonehead, then the lineman is a bit fooked. But never mind. So Fillufeat on 2 rerolls. I get my stunned players back next turn, so we're going to be able to step in and step into my opponent, I think. Well, that's certainly in my head at this stage what I'm thinking of doing. Right, we've got the mighty blow hit from the ogre, which should be on 3D, unless something bizarre happens, and then we'll have the tackle mighty blow hit to take as well, so I can then put some pressure in. If he leaves the rat ogre exposed, I will absolutely go for the roger. So he has left the roger exposed, and I think I should go for the roger here. I don't think I do. No, I don't. That's a mistake. Should have gone for the roger. So this is where I'm trying to split the pressure up. And I'm just picking something that's easy to kill. And I think picking something easy to kill is important, because I should start to apply pressure. Right, and I'm thinking after the first game, where I did get him to score quickly, well, I got him to score quickly, it was easy, right? We should have won that game. I mean, I cocked it up, but I should have won it. So let's push him into the end zone. So therefore, let's pressure there and let him run this way. And Fillufeat goes, I saw what you did in the last game. That's not falling for your stupid mind games, Davo. I'm going to play the drive properly. And so he does indeed play the drive properly. So credit to him for that. Rat ogre not finding a kapow, and then finding a 1D, not finding a skull, but also not finding a pow. So this is all right. The Skaven are a little bit fragmented, sorry, not fractious. They're fractious. But they are fragmented. And again, we've got multiple hits. I think I'm going to go for putting some pressure on here. Let's cut the tackle mighty blow, and it's turn 11. I won't get pulled out of position if I go in hard now. And if I get rid of one of the 3 gutters, we can put tackle mighty on a tackle on the other 2. Yes. Right, we get tackle on the other 2, and I should be able to squidge one of these, so that makes that a 3-2 out of tackle. And I don't really care where that goes. If it comes back over here, fine. But if we can win this part of the fight, when it comes back over here, we've got enough pieces to put pressure in. So 3D on here with the ogre. So that collapses this situation. So now, what's happened, I think, from my perspective, is that the Skaven have fragmented the board state into 4 different clumps, right? 1, 2, no, 3. 3. This gutter runner is stuck. He's going to need to drag the gutter runner back down here. And he needs to make safe. The bad news from my perspective is this is taking a bit too long. And this is not good. Despite having killed one, he's potentially defending with 10. Tackle's a good skill. Puts a reroll in. He's now going to dodge away from tackle. He does. And bizarrely chooses to not cut the corner. So he's still got dodge at this point. If he'd used dodge, that's not used the team reroll. But now he's out of team rerolls. So I'm like, right. He's out of rerolls. We are absolutely going to go and slam everything we can into him. And I also think that if I can get the tackle guy on the other gutter runner and then just tie everything up, he's then got to roll dice to do anything. So at this point, I think here's a chance, Chewie, and it's a big one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, he should have gone there. He should have definitely gone there. I should have sold from over here to bring this guy through. Because, yeah, if this guy doesn't bonehead, this guy could have gone and filled that square in, and then you could have put him there. Because this line rat's free. Ah, lucky pow. So the guard guy is going to go and touch this line rat. But I still think we could have done better there. But if you look at Fillufeat now, he needs a double go for it to score. And everything else is a dice roll. And he has no rerolls, including digging the gutter runner out. Like, everything's a dice roll. Yes! Right, the catcher is moderately well placed. I think that's a double go for it to click the catcher. So if we click the catcher here, we can get in. The thrower is annoyingly too far away with sure hands, but we are sat on 3 rerolls. That's nice. Oh, that's 3 of his 4 gutters out, and the other one is marking the ball. Screen this guy. And this should just be... I think... do you know what? I'm going to take that last move back. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's double go for it. So it's 2... It's potentially all 3 rerolls, right? 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus to pick the ball up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go for it. It's not okay. So... Actually, I have to do the free thing. If the free thing works and the ball is then picketed uppeted, the next thing to do is then take this guy and foul this gutter runner. Because an armor break here is it's game over. So what I'm doing is, what I want to do is foul the gutter runner now, but I can't. So I'm going to have to go and mark the gutter runner. And then I should have, this is a misplay, I should have put the... this should have been left alone. He should foul. But if we pick the ball up, it's all over. Unless, of course, he 4+ his dodges into here. However, we snake. Thankfully, the snake is not the go for it. The snake is the pickup. The worst thing is that it doesn't go off the board. If it went off the board, probably okay. If it goes into one of these 2 squares, really bad. However, he fails to pick up. He's already used his reroll. So, GG. So, let's punch this with... I don't know why we're punching... Well, we're punching with attack and mighty blow because it's got block. So, the last gutter runner is out. What we need to do now is not have him... is not fuck up picking the ball up. So, I don't want pushing onto the ball. So I'm going to screen the players that could pick the ball up. There we go. Because I don't need to wait. I'm already winning. I don't need to pick it up and have it bobble out and then some bizarre line rat pick it up and cause me mischief and mayhem. So I don't get anything for winning 2-0. So he's rolled a 1, but that means he didn't roll the 1 on the dodge out. I've got a turn to defend it. So if this guy goes down, the rat ogre is a technical scoring threat. This guy's an actual scoring threat. So what we need to do now is kill this guy and take him down. If we break his armor, I think it's over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's over anyway. And well, if he chain pushes him, it's not over. Now it's over. So there is now, you know, a universe where Fillufeat is going to make this work. So the last bit of this is just me being naughty. But there we have it. So congratulations to me because I've gone through. So we can bring up the World Championship thing again. We now have another player through. So that is me versus Jalev in the next round. And that is an OWA mirror. So I'll update that for you and you'll see that in the next replay analysis. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.